The real estate broker is not a party to that agreement, but he does or she does agree that it controls over the listing agreement, for example, and they agree to comply with the terms of the short sale agreement, including the amount of the commission, by the way. So it's very important that everyone involved on the real estate agent broker side really take these requirements seriously. And I know it's going to be hard. I know it's a government program with incredible complexity, but the reality is there's no way around it if you're going to really succeed in HAFA.
That's right. So, it's a paperwork. There's a lot of paperwork to know and to understand. There's procedures that are required with this. Accept the fact, guys, that if you're working with negotiators now that are not yet familiar with HAFA, even though their parent lender servicer is on the list of companies or of banks that are participating in HAFA, be patient. This just started this month. This is going to be a transition process from the way the lenders were doing the process before to following new HAFA guidelines. What we suspect is there's going to be a lot of mistakes made. There's going to be a lot of misunderstandings. That is the nature of a market like this. Just be patient. Be the expert. When you have any questions, obviously reach out and ask questions. Julie, you have some questions that you got in from some of the students.
Yes, Gary in San Diego wants to know, is there an easy way to know if the lender they're dealing with is participating in the HAFA program?
Yes, there is. We put a link on our HAFA page. If you go to realtor.org/short-sales and then go to a link on that page, and it's not that complicated a page, to the HAFA page, that's where you get the link to the government page that will let you find out everybody who signed up for HAMP. And remember, everybody that signed up for HAMP is automatically considered signed up for HAFA. It's unfortunately about
searchable.
3 links, but it is searchable. You can actually click and say list all servicers. Once you get to that government page, there's no way for us to give you the list directly, but the government page has a link to list all servicers, and you click on that, and there they are in alphabetical order.
Okay, perfect. And just so our students know, if you're in our short sale class, you're a CDPD student, we're going to take exactly what Jeff just said and give you specific instructions. We'll post those links. We'll make it as easy as possible for you to search out who's participating.
Gail from Somerville, New Jersey. Is it true that for HAFA, the homeowner is also signing a deed in lieu as part of the required upfront paperwork? And she mentioned a local real estate attorney is saying that that's the case.
If that is the case, I did not understand that to be the case.
I don't think it's the case.
I don't think it's the case. I don't think you have to go both routes simultaneously.
Nope.
If the HAFA doesn't work, then they turn to the deed in lieu.
Well, the deed, but so procedurally,
right?
Jeff, and please correct me if I'm wrong on this.
Yeah, well, you won't be wrong. You're never wrong.
Don't tell him
Julie,
that, please.
Yeah, you better check with Julie on that one. All right, so as far as this works, if the HAFA short sale doesn't work out, then the seller is given the option to do the deed in lieu. But can a seller just basically say, I want a deed in lieu, I don't even want to try to short sale it?
I think they can. They can ask for either one.
Okay.
I don't know why not.
Well, that's my understanding too. So why would a seller want to do a short sale over deed in lieu? Well, obviously with the deed in lieu, they essentially don't have to, go through the process of selling it, and it's a lot quicker process.
That's right. It's a lot quicker, and that's the main reason.
Well, where's the incentive for the homeowner to actually want to do a short sale over a deed in lieu? There's not an easy answer to that. I'm
not sure what the answer is to that. I mean, I think both of them, create problems with your credit scores, depending on how current you are on all of your other bills, for example, and whether or not you've stayed current to the point of this housing crisis.
Well, deed in lieu, credit-wise, this is something we know something about. Is the same basically as a foreclosure. So even though it's sometimes called a friendly foreclosure, it's still a foreclosure. So in a lot of cases, those of you who are working with folks that need security clearances, there's so many different ways that credit is used anymore. People applying for jobs, all kinds of different things. It matters. So that's the reason that someone's going to want to do a short sale. And I suspect, only guessing, but I suspect that the lenders are going to try to incentivize people to do short sales more than a deed in lieu, because obviously then the goal is for them to net more money. Julie?
Okay, several questions. If there is anything specific on HAFA deals for new buyers being able to flip a property that they purchased as a HAFA deal, kind of a extendo question there, but are there any flipping or non-flipping rules?
Yeah, you can't flip for 90 days.
90 days, right? Okay,
90
good.
days.
So that's still the case.
Yep.
Lots of questions about how to get these forms, guys. We're going to give you instructions on how to do that, and the website.
And the link is on our site, of course, too.
Realtor.org/short sales. All right.
Here's an interesting question. I'm going through the questions, Jules. Let me ask this one. Jeff, someone asking about the first-time home buyer tax credit, not a HAFA issue. To talk about that briefly, that's obviously something that you guys have been
You need to have a binding contract to qualify for the tax credit by the end of April, and you have to close by the end of June. And the question has come up, comes up every single day, actually. What happens if we get our binding contract submitted to the lender for approval, but the lender doesn't approve it until after the end of April, but you still close by the end of June? And the answer is, we think that there are arguments that that's a binding contract, and certainly that's something for you to consider with on your own. We can't give you that tax or legal advice. We've raised it with IRS and through Treasury and asked Treasury to ask IRS to expedite it, but IRS is on IRS time. And whether or not they're going to have that answer before the end of April, I don't know. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people anxious about whether or not they're going to qualify, and they're going to have to decide whether to fill out those forms and perhaps put in the full disclosure right on their forms and file for the credit, or whatever their advisors recommend that they do. I mean, I'm not telling anybody what to do, but we recognize it's a serious problem, and we're trying to get a definitive answer from the IRS, the only one that matters here.
Have you seen any or heard of any indication that the buyer credit is going to be extended beyond?
No, I don't think there's any real serious talk. Last time it was extended, there were a lot of conversations about this is a very expensive credit, and depending on the situation, this may be the last time. And I think that at the moment, I do not think that there's a lively discussion about extending the credit at this point. That could change if the market changes, but at the moment, that's where we are.
That's right. Julie?
I'm going through these questions.
A lot of them are the same.
Yeah, a lot of them are the same.
They
are. A lot of confusion still about the deep
a lot of
blue.
confusion. I guess, Julie, as I'm going through these questions, I don't even know how many. It was like over 400. But most of the questions I'm seeing are concerning lenders that are still demanding promissory notes or something like that. Mm-hmm. And, guys, I'm going to say this again. And, again, Jeff, if I say this wrong, please correct me. But if they're participating in HAFA, first and second lien holders, guys, cannot ask for any sort of payback outside of closing, cash at closing, any Mickey Mouse like that. And this is very, very important, one of the best, most beautiful aspects of HAFA, if you ask us. When the lenders are participating in HAFA, they have to agree to not go after the borrower for any sort of deficiency judgment afterwards. And the old way of doing it is you guys had to negotiate out the deficiency judgment threat from looming over the seller's head. And depending on your state, maybe that was a problem, like in Arizona, and I know in California, if it was a purchase money, there was no real worry about that because it was non-recourse. But anyway, bottom line is, under HAFA, the deficiency thing is really off the table. That's a huge difference. So those of you who are having problems with these lenders, still trying to weasel some sort of payback from these lenders or from these borrowers, and they're participating in HAFA, you might want to correct that behavior. So Jeff, this is an interesting question. We talked about this before. If a realtor comes across a lender that is indeed participating in HAFA but not following the HAFA guidelines, what would you like them to do?
I'd like them to let me know. When we met with Treasury, we said, well, what do we do? How do we need some kind of system for raising concerns about the way HAFA is being implemented and concerns about lenders violating the program. And they said, let us know, and we will deal with it. And so the only way for me to help our members is for our members to continue to do what they've been doing for 2 years, which is send me an email or call me up, let me know what's going on, and we will consolidate that. And if I get 10,000 calls, I won't be returning all of them. But at the moment, I'm able to keep up, just barely, with the help we're getting from our members alerting us to the problems in this area. And that's the key. I can't sit here inside the Beltway and guess what's going on. I depend on our